Much-loved poems you half remember. John Keats. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but still will keep a bower quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despondence of the inhuman dearth of noble natures of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and o'er-darkened ways made for our searching, yes, in spite of all. Some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits, such the sun, the moon, trees old and young sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, and such are daffodils with the green world they live in, and clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make gainst the hot season, the mid-forest brake rich with a sprinkling of fair musk-rose blooms. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead, all lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens' brink. William Blake, Augueries of Innocence. To see a world in a grain of sand, and heaven in a wildflower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. A robin redbreast in a cage puts all heaven in a rage. A dove house filled with doves and pigeons shudders hell through all its regions. A dog, starved at his master's gate, predicts the ruin of the state. A horse misused upon the road calls to heaven for human blood, each outcry of the hunted hare a fibre from the brain does tear. A skylark wounded in the wing, the cherubim does cease to sing. The gamecock clipped and armed for fight does the rising sun affright. Every wolf's and lion's howl raises from hell a human soul. The Windhover, Gerard Manley Hopkins. I caught this morning's minion kingdom of daylight's dauphin, dappled dawn, drawn falcon in his riding. Of the rolling level underneath him, steady air and striding. High there, how he rung upon the rein of a wimpling wing in his ecstasy, then off forth on swing, as a skate's heel sweeps smooth on a bow bend. The hurl and gliding rebuffed the big wind. My heart in hiding stirred for a bird, the achieve of, the mastery of the thing. Brute beauty and valor in act, O air, pride, plume, hear and buckle, and the fire that breaks from thee then, a billion times told lovelier, more dangerous, O my chevalier. No wonder of it, sheer plod makes plough down Cillian shine, and blue bleak embers, ah, my dear, fall, gall themselves, and gash gold vermilion. Abraham Cowley, Drinking. The thirsty earth soaks up the rain, and drinks and gapes for drink again. The plants suck in the earth and are with constant drinking fresh and fair. The sea itself, which one would think should have but little need of drink, drinks 10,000 rivers up, so filled that they overflow the cup. The busy sun, and one would guess by his drunken fiery face no less, drinks up the sea, and when has done, the moon and stars drink up the sun. They drink and dance by their own light, they drink and revel all the night. Nothing in nature so profound but an eternal health goes round. Fill up the bowl, then fill it high, fill all the glasses there, for why should every creature drink but I? Why, man of morals, tell me why? Sir Walter Scott, The Rover. A weary lot is thine, fair maid, a weary lot is thine, to pull the thorn thy brow to braid, and press the rue for wine. A lightsome eye, a soldier's mien, a feather of the blue, a doublet of the Lincoln green. No more of me you knew, my love, no more of me you knew. This morn is merry June, I trow, the rose is budding fain, but she shall bloom in winter snow ere we two meet again. He turned his charger as he spake upon the river shore. He gave the bridle reins a shake, said adieu for evermore, my love, and adieu for evermore. William Shakespeare, Sonnet 130. My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If hair be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses, damasked red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks, and in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. And yet, by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare. A.E. Housman, When I Was 21. When I was 21, I heard a wise man say, give crowns and pounds and guineas, but not your heart away. Give pearls away and rubies, but keep your fancy free. But I was 21, no use to talk to me. When I was 21, I heard him say again, the heart out of the bosom was never given in vain. 'Tis paid with sighs aplenty and sold for endless rue. And I am 22, and oh, 'tis true, 'tis true. John Donne, Sonnet 10. Death, be not proud. Death, be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. For those whom thou thinkest thou dost overthrow die not, poor Death, nor yet canst thou kill me. From rest and sleep, which but thy pictures be, much pleasure, that from thee much more must flow, and soonest our best men with thee do go, rest of their bones and souls' delivery. Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men, and dust with poison, war, and sickness dwell. Popular charms can make us sleep as well, and better than thy stroke. Why swellest thou then? One short sleep past, we wake eternally, and death shall be no more. Death, thou shalt die. W.H. Auden. Oh, tell me the truth about love. Some say love's a little boy, and some say it's a bird. Some say it makes the world go round, some say that's absurd. And when I asked the man next door, who looked as if he knew, his wife got very cross indeed and said it wouldn't do. Does it look like a pair of pajamas, or the ham in a temperance hotel? Does its odor remind one of llamas, or has it a comforting smell? Is it prickly to touch as a hedge's, or soft as eider-down fluff? Is it sharp or quite smooth at the edges? Oh, tell me the truth about love. Our history books refer to it in cryptic little notes. It's quite a common topic on the transatlantic boats. I found the subject mentioned in accounts of suicides, and even seen it scribbled on the backs of railway guides. Does it howl like a hungry Alsatian, or boom like a military band? Could one give a first-rate imitation on a saw or a Steinway grand? Is it singing at parties a riot? Does it only like classical stuff? Will it stop when one wants to be quiet? Oh, tell me the truth about love. I looked inside the summer house, it wasn't over there. I tried the Thames at Maidenhead in Brighton's bracing air. I don't know what the blackbird sang or what the tulip said, but it wasn't in the chicken run or underneath the bed. Can it pull extraordinary faces? Is it usually sick on a swing? Does it spend all its time at the races or fiddling with pieces of string? Has it views of its own about money? Does it think patriotism enough? Are its stories vulgar but funny? Oh, tell me the truth about love. When it comes, will it come without warning, and just as I'm picking my nose? Will it knock on my door in the morning, or tread in the bus on my toes? Will it come like a change in the weather? Will its greeting be courteous or rough? Will it alter my life altogether? Oh, tell me the truth about love. Robert Browning. Meeting at Night. The grey sea and the long black land, and the yellow half-moon large and low, and the startled little waves that leap in fiery ringlets from their sleep, as they gain the cove with pushing prow, and quench its speed in the slushy sand. Then a mile of warm sea-scented beach, 3 fields across till a farm appears, a tap at the pane, the quick sharp scratch and the blue spurt of a lighted match, and a voice less loud through its joys and fears than the 2 hearts beating each to each. E. Cummings. I carry your heart with me, I carry it in. I carry your heart with me, I carry it in my heart. I am never without it, anywhere I go, you go, my dear. And whatever is done by only me is your doing, my darling, I fear. No fate, for you are my fate, my sweet. I want no world, for beautiful you are my world, my true. And it's you are whatever a moon has always meant, and whatever a sun will always sing is you. Here is the deepest secret nobody knows. Here is the root of the root, and the bud of the bud, and the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul can hope, or mind can hide, and this is the wonder that's keeping the stars apart. I carry your heart. I carry it in my heart. Elizabeth Barrett Browning. If thou must love me. If thou must love me, let it be for naught except for love's sake only. Do not say, I love her for her smile, her look, her way of speaking gently, for a trick of thought that falls in well with mine, and certes brought a scent of pleasant ease on such a day. For these things in themselves, beloved, may be changed, or change for thee, and love so wrought may be unwrought so. Neither love me for thine own dear pities wiping my cheeks dry. A creature might forget to weep, who bore thy comfort long, and lose thy love thereby. But love me for love's sake, that evermore thou mayest love on, through love's eternity. John Gillespie Magee. High Flight. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth, and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed, and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds, and done 100 things you have not dreamed of, wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along, and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up, the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the wind-swept heights with easy grace, where never lark or even eagle flew. And while with silent lifting mind I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God. Christina Rossetti. Uphill. Does the road wind uphill all the way? Yes, to the very end. Will the day's journey take the whole long day? From morn to night, my friend. But is there for the night a resting place, a roof for when the slow dark hours begin? May not the darkness hide it from my face? You cannot miss that inn. Shall I meet other wayfarers at night, those who have gone before? Then must I knock or call when just in sight? They will not keep ye standing at that door. Shall I find comfort, travel sore and weak? Of labor you shall find the sum. Will there be beds for me and all who seek? Yea, beds for all who come. A. Milne. The King's Breakfast. The king asked the queen, and the queen asked the dairymaid, could we have some butter for the royal slice of bread? The queen asked the dairymaid said, certainly, I'll go and tell the cow now before she goes to bed. The dairymaid she curtsied and went and told the Alderney, don't forget the butter for the royal slice of bread. The Alderney said sleepily, you'd better tell his majesty that many people nowadays like marmalade instead. The dairymaid said fancy and went to her majesty. She curtsied to the queen and turned a little red. Excuse me, your majesty, for taking of the liberty, but marmalade is tasty if it's very quickly spread. The queen said oh, and went to his majesty, talking of the butter for the royal slice of bread. Many people think that marmalade is nicer. Would you like to try a little marmalade instead? The king said, bother, and then he said, oh dearie me. The king sobbed, oh dearie me, and went back to bed. Nobody, he whimpered, could call me a fussy man. I only want a little bit of butter for my bread. The queen said, there, there, and went to the dairymaid. The dairymaid said, "There, there," and went to the shed. The cow said, "There, there, I didn't really mean it. Here's milk for his porringer and butter for his bread." The queen took the butter and brought it to his majesty. The king said, "Butter, eh?" and bounced out of bed. "Nobody," he said, as he kissed her tenderly. "Nobody," he said, as he slid down the banisters. "Nobody, my darling, could call me a fussy man. But I do like a little bit of butter to my bread." Seamus Heaney, Blackberry Picking. Late August, given heavy rains and sun, for a full week the blackberries would ripen. At first just one, a glossy purple clot amongst others, red, green, hard as a knot. You ate that first one and its flesh was sweet, like thickened wine. Summer's blood was in it, leaving stains upon the tongue and lust for picking. Then red ones inked up, and that hunger sent us out with milk cans, pea tins, jam pots, where briars scratched and wet grass bleached our boots. Round hayfields, cornfields, and potato drills we trekked and picked until the cans were full, until the tinkling bottom had been covered with green ones, and on top big dark blobs burned like a plate of eyes. Our hands were peppered with thorn bricks, our palms sticky as bluebeards. We hoarded the fresh berries in the beer, but when the bath was filled we found a fur, a rat-grey fungus glutting on our cash. The juice was stinking too. Once off the bush the fruit fermented. The sweet flesh would turn sour. I always felt like crying. It wasn't fair that all the lovely canfuls smelled of rot. Each year I hoped they'd keep, knew they would not. Emily Brontë. No coward soul is mine. No coward soul is mine, no trembler in the world's storm-troubled sphere. I see heaven's glory shine, and faith shines equal, arming me from fear. O God within my breast, almighty, ever-present deity, life that in me hast rest, as I, undying life, have power in thee. Vain are the thousand creeds that move men's hearts, unutterably vain, worthless as withered weeds or idlest frost amid the boundless main. To waken doubt in one holding so fast by thy infinity, so surely anchored on the steadfast rock of immortality. With wide embracing love thy spirit animates eternal years, pervades and broods above, changes, sustains, dissolves, creates and rears. Though earth and moon were gone, and sun and universes ceased to be, and thou were left alone, every existence would exist in thee. There is not room for death, nor atom that his might could render void, since thou art being and breath, and what thou art may never be destroyed. William Butler Yeats. When you are old. When you are old and grey and full of sleep, and nodding by the fire, take down this book and slowly read, and dream of the soft look your eyes had once, and of their shadows deep. How many loved your moments of glad grace, and loved your beauty with love false or true. But one man loved the pilgrim soul in you, and loved the sorrows of your changing face. And bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur, a little sadly, how love fled, and paced upon the mountains overhead, and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. Catherine Mansfield, Chamomile Tea. Outside the sky is light with stars. There's a hollow roaring from the sea, and alas, for the little almond flowers, the wind is shaking the almond tree. How little I thought a year ago in this horrible cottage upon the lea that he and I should be sitting so and sipping a cup of chamomile tea. Light as feathers the witches fly, the horn of the moon is plain to see. By a firefly under a jonquil flower a goblin toasts a bumblebee. We might be 50, we might be 5, so snug, so compact, so wise are we. Under the kitchen table leg my knee is pressed against his knee. Our shutters are shut, the fire is low, the tap is dripping peacefully. The saucepan shadows on the wall are black and round and plain to see. William Wordsworth, The Prelude. And in the frosty seasons, when the sun was set and visible for many a mile, the cottage windows blazed through the twilight gloom. I heeded not their summons, happy time. It was indeed for all of us, for me it was a time of rapture, clear and loud. The village clock told 6, I wheeled about, proud and exulting, like an untired horse that cares not for his home. All shod with steel, we hissed along the polished ice in games confederate, imitative of the chase and woodland pleasures and resounding horn, the pack loud chiming and hunted hare. So through the darkness and the cold we flew, and not a voice was idle. With the din smitten, the precipices rang aloud. The leafless trees and every icy crag tinkled like iron, while the distant hills and the tumult sent an alien sound of melancholy, not unnoticed, while the stars, eastward, were sparkling clear, and in the west the orange sky of evening died away. Not seldom from the uproar I retired into a silent bay, or sportively glanced sideways, leaving the tumultuous throng, to cut across the reflex of a star that fled, and flying still before me gleamed upon the glassy plain. And oftentimes, when we had given our bodies to the wind, and all the shadowy banks on either side came sweeping through the darkness, spinning still the rapid line of motion, then at once have I, reclining back upon my heels, stopped short. Yet still the solitary cliffs wheeled by me, even as if the earth had rolled with visible motion her diurnal round. Behind me did they stretch in solemn train, feebler and feebler, and I stood and watched till all was tranquil as a dreamless sleep. If, by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream, and not make dreams your master. If you can think, and not make thoughts your aim. If you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those two impostors just the same. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings, and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose, and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And, which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Thank you so much for listening to these much-loved poems you half remember. Have a lovely day.